countryside lives a group of Catholic social activists who try to radically live the gospel. They were founded in the mid-1980s and are called the Pilgrim House community. The community care for special needs adults whom they have taken out of large institutions. They have created a safe haven in their secluded estate and guard their privacy. In the outside world, however, questions are being raised about them. Three health boards fund their work. The boards pay them around £100,000 a year and have issued a statement saying they're satisfied with the care provided. They are a limited company with charitable status. Despite their low profile nowadays, they have not always avoided the media. They attracted attention for protesting about the plight of asylum seekers long before it became a cause célèbre. In 1999, the Pilgrim community also made the news headlines when they and their charges tried to enter Israel without visas. They took great exception to being turned back and complained of their treatment by the Israelis, who were concerned at the time about suicide cults coming to Israel for the millennium. 4 of the founder members were Helena O'Leary and her husband, Dr. Dermot O'Leary, a psychiatrist, Martin Smith and his wife, Margaret Foley. They were later joined by the former editor of the Irish Catholic, Bridget Ann Ryan, former priests and religious, 2 of Helena O'Leary's nephews, Conleth Finnegan and Cathal King. The Pilgrim community is a diverse group. Over the years, it has attracted lay activists and members of religious orders. Some are Irish and some foreign nationals. It cares for 6 Romanian orphans as well as the special needs adults. Visitors are very impressed with the work they do. Some religious orders permitted members to live and work with the Pilgrim community. We spoke to the superiors of 2 such orders. The first of those, Sister Helen Mary, Region Prioress of the Dominican Order.
I was impressed with their vision. You know, they wanted, say, to live the gospel radically. They had a simple lifestyle, and they had taken handicapped people out of institutions. And I was very impressed when I saw some of those out, I think from maybe Portrane, and there they were in the open countryside, and animals were around, and I thought it was, you know, a very healing place for people who had been institutionalized for so long.
The Patrician Brothers also had a member who spent a few years with the Pilgrims. When we spoke to the provincial of the order at the Patricians' headquarters in Newbridge, he was equally impressed with their work.
We thought at the time it was a very good idea, and I went down myself and looked at the Pilgrim House and what they were doing, and I was very impressed with what they were doing. And I'd say any other brothers at the time would have been kind of impressed.
At different times, say, our sisters would get a sabbatical, and this sister went for a few months. And like that too, she was taken with their agenda and thought, you know, it was very good. But when she kind of thought about it, what she didn't like was their lack of involvement or connection, really, with, say, the local church or the diocese. So she decided, no, she wouldn't like to stay there. So she made that known then. And she did feel then, when she made it known that she wouldn't like to stay any longer, that they didn't appreciate that. They made it known to her that they thought she was going to come and stay permanently, and they didn't appreciate it. And I was struck when she said to me that she felt they weren't allowing her the freedom that they proclaimed themselves.
Another Dominican nun left the order to remain in the Pilgrim community. Her friends have become very concerned for her.
When she decided to stay on in Pilgrim House, many of us probably wouldn't have met her again, you know, so it would have been a small circle of maybe her friends that would have met her. And I think the big change would have been that they felt she didn't want to keep up contact with them, that kind of they had all the truth now, you know, and that they were this was the right way of living the gospel. So I think people felt there was a certain criticism in it, and none of us have the absolute truth, but maybe there was no openness there to dialogue about it, or to discuss it, or to talk it through, which this person would have always been open to do before. So I think they felt concern around that now there was kind of a cut off.
This distance did not preclude them from asking for money, and in time the demands for money began to worry the orders.
When Brother went to Pilgrim House, we thought it was a deserving cause, which it was really. They were helping the underprivileged and so on. But then as time went on, Brother was ringing up some of our communities for money, you know, and particularly I think one such case was he rang up Brother James Moore in Superior in Abbeyleix and asked for a substantial amount of money to buy transport.
Well, in the beginning, I think when we were asked, we just gave the money graciously, you know. But I have heard of other religious groups being approached, and maybe if they delayed in giving it or questioned it, they felt they were a little aggressive towards them.
And was Sister herself ever asked to come to you and look for?
She was, yes, yes.
Are we talking about large amounts of money here, Sister Helen?
Well, maybe we would be talking about something between 20,000 and 30,000.
Donations are recorded in the accounts for Pilgrim House. For their part, the patricians were surprised that their donations were never acknowledged, but a bigger surprise was in store for them.
I was in my home place Sunday of the first week in September, and I got this phone call from Brother, and he had obviously got the loan of the Pilgrim House van or transport to go and see his mother, who was still alive. And it was while he was at home, I got this phone call, and he said that he was unhappy and wanted to leave. He also had rung up Brother Camillus Regan, who is my first assistant, and told him the same problem. And what he wanted us to do was to come down on the 5th of September at a certain time and to pick him up in Pilgrim House so that he could get away without telling anybody.
So what happened then? Did you drive up to the door?
The two of us, we drove up, and we thought first the gate was locked, but we got out and we were able to open the gate, and we drove right in, and almost to the room where he was staying. And within a matter of minutes he was in the car, and we moved away quickly. When he arrived here, I rang up